So I'm going to tell you this. I mean, Adaptation is one of my...
No.
I knew you were going to do... I'm you. I have to know because I am you. I have to do this. Thank you. Let me do it. Adaptation is one of my favorite films. Now, Spike Jonze and Charlie Kaufman are a dream team. That film, like all of their films, seems like it came from such an innovative and openly creative space. What was that production set like to work on? Please tell me.
Initially, I'll tell you, it felt a little cold to me. It felt a little disconnected from me to them. It was like a little cliquey group of the writer, the cinematographer, the director, the actors. So I felt very disconnected. I was not included in all the reindeer games the way you would normally feel in the way I was. And
that's interesting.
And they were, very artsy fartsy, and I'm this kind of glammy kind of stand-in guy. And it was a very low budget film, and there was a lot of discrepancies about my fees. At this point, I'm on an actor salary. I've got residuals. I'm on this big fucking perk list thanks to Cage and his agent at CAA. And so they looked at me like this big Goomba showing up. Like, who the fuck is this guy when he's making more money than the producers? Get him off the set. So I wasn't really a welcomed sight for the first week at least while we were up in the studio in Santa Clarita. So I was really not having it and not liking it. But I was shoving my face in there like a raccoon to get through a hole. And I thought, I'm going to prove these fuckers that I am worth every dime. And they wouldn't use me. They were just using themselves as Nick Cage. And I was like, I'm right there at the sides and they're ignoring me and walking around me. I'm like, so I just shoved myself in there. And it's like, well, if Nick were here, Nick would be sitting on that couch. And I look at them and I mosey along like a raccoon. And I would sit down on the couch knowing how Nick is going to sit in this frumpy, Kaufman kind of way. So I sat there and I did this. And then they're like, well, then maybe he would stand by the window. And then I had a fat suit on. So my fat suit, because the budget was so low, was a pillow with a strap on and a T-shirt over it because they didn't have money to put a fat suit on me. So I made my own fat suit so I could, and then I did the wig thing and cut my hair and dyed my hair as best as I could to resemble, to show them how dedicated I was to be that. As you saw in the photographs, I looked a lot like him.
Yeah.
And all of that was because I insisted on being that person, that character, because that's my job. And so I made a point of it. Because they weren't going to offer me anything to physically put me there, I got my own stuff with the pillow and made it all up. I went to Home Depot and I got one of those back brace things and with the Velcro, and I just strapped it on the pillow and threw the T-shirt over me. And I made sure it was the same size as his body, so I had the right size pillow. But I went above and beyond to show them. So once I started to show up and do the scenes, they started to embrace me. And by the end of it, we were such a close-knit family between the Spike Jonze and the DP, Lance Accord, and myself that Spike Jonze wrote a handwritten letter to me thanking me for all the work that I had done and my contribution to his film. And I was mind-boggled by it because they didn't talk to me at the beginning. At the very end, they're like, oh, my God, this guy was the greatest thing since sliced bread. And they basically, judged me on my appearance and my salary, I guess. But I was worth every nickel of it. And they realized that I did all of it, and they were thrilled. So it became a really close-knit, fun, artsy-fartsy film, and I enjoyed that aspect of it.